The funding for this video is provided by the amazing members of my Patreon. Also contributions from viewers like you. Thank you. Yeah, I started from PBS Kids. What you gonna do? Fight me? Anyway, roll the video. As the years go by, I have seen the nerd community change. From being extremely white and skinny to very colorful and diverse. The difference in the way we view nerd culture has changed a lot to a certain extent, to the point where it's kind of laughable, I'd say. Because I remember that I met this black guy at a con, and he told me that he had been going to cons since the 90s and barely any black people would show up. What the fuck? But as someone who has been involved with nerdy culture since I say the mid 2010s, even before that, to be honest, even in the 2000s, let's be fucking for real, I can go ahead and say that it is extremely fucking different now as it was back then, because this community has always had its issues, but it's like we have those issues, but now we have some new ones to go along with it. And yes, we absolutely cannot have our damn cake and eat it too, because it's always something. So you know what we're gonna do today? We're gonna have a talk. The nerd community has a problem.
That's him, Romulus. How can I make him notice me?
Do the things he likes to do.
Hey, those sticks are for the bonfire.
Thanks.
Oh, not that one. No, slow down!
Hey y'all, so I know that this summer has just not gone the way I wanted it to, mainly because I've just been having a lot of issues with my health, and over the last 2 weeks I have been dealing with a really bad toothache, and it is just now starting to heal. It's been a very emotional summer, as you guys know that I'm grieving over numerous family members and whatnot, but I'm back, and this video right here is one that was filmed in May, meaning the interview was filmed in May. It was supposed to come out in June, and it's damn near August by the time it's coming out. And I just want to go ahead and say that this video was filmed the day after the 2023 MomoCon. I have just found out about a lot of the things that happened with DreamCon and whatnot, and I just want to say that this video is not specifically about that convention or any convention for the most part. It's just the nerd community as a whole. It's about everything that surrounds it, offline and online and whatever the fuck, but everything I say in it just does stand still. Let's go ahead and get started. As you guys know, my special guest here today is Veridis Joe. Love him, love them. All right.
Well, I'm Joey on YouTube, Veridis Show on YouTube. I make videos about things I like and things I don't like.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people that like them, and there are a lot of people that don't like them.
Okay, so that's just who Joey is. Joey has like channel, but also he's a bit like in touch with like nerd culture, I'd say, and cosplay and all of that. And when it comes to Joey, they are very like insightful when it comes to the subject of cosplaying, because they have been cosplaying for a while now, and cosplay is one of the main things that brings the nerd community together. But I noticed this is specifically with the black nerd community, that cosplay is a really big thing that has brought a lot of people together. How long have you been cosplaying?
Well, I've been cosplaying, if we're like getting technical about it, probably since I was like 11. Because around that time, my mom, she taught me how to sew, like hand sew, because I was really into like Spider-Man and stuff, and I wanted to make my own Spider-Man suit.
Yeah, okay.
But it's like this old like I use like gem socks and like blue like corduroy pants and like red and blue like long underwear.
No, like the effort's there.
Yeah, so I was like 11. I was super serious about that. I sewed it all together. I got puff paint and everything. And that was like the first thing I made. And then after that, I remember I made my first Power Ranger costume, which was the White Ranger suit. And I did all of it like in cardboard. Like I made the sword, I made like the shield, I made the helmet as well. And then I had like the suit stuff, which it just involved more socks again, because I was like 12.
Yeah.
And then after that, I started making a lot of props. Like there were some props that I made where I'm like, I don't even know if I can make that again now. Like, like I remember, this is the one I don't have a picture of, I wish I did, but I did Tenchi sword from Tenchi Muyo, the Lighthawk sword. I did like the hilt, and it's like I did it in like the most like bootleg like getaway ever, but it looked like really good.
No, I get that. I understand that.
And then I did the dude from High School DxD. Keep in mind, like I said, I was like 12, so that's why I was watching High School DxD. But he has like a little gauntlet thing, and I made it like entirely out of like cardboard and like clay and stuff. And that was like, I don't even know how I did that. That was crazy.
Okay.
But yeah, so I've been doing the cosplay stuff for, I guess, a while.
So for the most part, they have been cosplaying for a while, same as I have, because I look back at a lot of my past cosplays that I did when I was younger and they look like shit, but I was proud that I did them because I just made do with what I had. But for the most part, we have this mutual agreement that we both have started cosplaying simply because we like these shows, we like these movies, we like this media, and we want to show how we appreciate that in different ways and forms, and we wanted to show our appreciation for it was dressing up like how these characters did in these properties. But here I do want to get a little bit more on the subject of why people cosplay, because for the most part I make it pretty clear that I cosplay because I love to play dress up. Ever since I was little, I've always loved playing dress up, but it honestly is something that is stress relieving for me. I am somebody who has been through a lot in my life. If you guys have watched my videos, and I'm not really open about the brutalization that I have been through. I did touch on it a bit in my last video that I uploaded about geek charming. But honestly, cosplay has always just been like something that I've done because I truly do enjoy it. I love it. It makes me feel better. And I genuinely like it because I like having fun. I love playing dress up. I love showing like appreciation for like my favorite fictional characters and whatnot. And anybody that knows me knows that I will find so many ways to dress up as the characters that I love, because everybody knows that I love me some Natalie, and I have been finding new ways to dress up as her. But I've really been like a big fan of Casey Caldron from Moon Girl, and I just kind of been like keeping track of all the different outfits that she's worn in the show, and I want to recreate them all because she's my favorite character in the series.
Well, I think I started cosplaying because I could see myself in a lot of these characters that I cosplayed, or rather, I wanted to see them in me, you know? So it's like, oh, I want to, you know, dress up as Spider-Man because I love Spider-Man, you know? It's like, I guess it starts off kind of innocently, but then there's kind of like a purpose to it, because it's like I cosplay characters when I want to feel like the character, like, you know, if I feel like I resonate with them in some way, shape, or form. Or just if they just make me happy.
Yeah.
Like my my Kasane Teto cosplay on Thursday I did. That just made me really happy.
That you look so adorable.
Thank
I was
you.
like, you look so cute in this costume. Okay, so last year I ended up posting a video that I decided to take down simply because it was just a rant video of me just talking. But the overall premise of why I made that video is because I had found out that people were saying that they were no longer going to cosplay at conventions, or they were like gonna stop cosplaying like in general, like on social media, because they weren't getting enough like attention for their cosplays. Like people were saying that they were gonna stop dressing up at cons because a lot of people, or like barely anybody, was coming up to them and complimenting them on their costume, and people just weren't coming up to them and asking them to take pictures of them because they like their costumes. It was stuff like that, and I was like, ooh, okay, that is not the purpose of cosplay. And at this point, if that's the main reason why you want to cosplay, it's very clear that you're cosplaying for attention, but specifically you're cosplaying because you want public validation from people that don't even fucking know you.
It's just something that I really like.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, because that's just something that has like been like on my mind a lot lately, and that's why I really wanted to like make this video.
Right.
Because I was like, because I remember a lot of people had gotten angry with me. I posted a video around last summer where I was like, a lot of y'all are cosplaying because you want attention.
Yeah.
And I felt like I just didn't word it correctly.
I feel like what you said was right.
Yeah.
You know, I just feel like, you know, if it's on the internet,
Yeah.
you know, it's like, what is it, that one like waffles, pancakes tweet where it's like people just misinterpret everything
Yeah.
that you say. Because there are people that cosplay for the attention of it. Like
Yeah.
say for instance, you get people that cosplay characters from franchises they may not know about.
Yeah.
Nothing's wrong with that, but it's just like objectively, it's just like you didn't do this because like, you know, you have passion for this character or whatever.
Yeah.
And so for some people, it's like a job. You know, and it's like, okay, well, I gotta cosplay this new character that came out, you know, because like everybody thinks they're like cool or hot or whatever. So, you know, I gotta like make more money doing that. So, I mean, there are a lot of people who do it for attention. I feel like there's multiple ways or multiple reasons to doing it.
Yeah, because
so you're right. You know, what you said wasn't wrong.
Because the main reason why I said that is because I found out that a lot of people were saying they're no longer gonna cosplay at cons because like enough people weren't coming up to them and like complimenting their cosplay. And I was like, excuse me? Did y'all not forget what this is for? Like,
yeah, nah, it's supposed to be fun. You're supposed to be having fun with this.
Yeah, and then other people were telling me, and it was like, well, maybe people just want to get like appreciation for like their craft and their work and all of that. And I was like,
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But it's just like, because the same thing can be said to artists, right?
Yeah.
Because I have a friend, she's a really close friend, has been for years. And I remember for a while her art wouldn't be, you know, going anywhere in terms of like traction.
Like going viral.
Yeah. And this was before I could like boost anything because I didn't have like any followers or anything. So I kind of just had to keep encouraging her. And then when I did have my followers or whatever, like I started to boost her and stuff like that. And it's like, we'll do a little bit, it wouldn't be much. And her whole thing would just be like, oh, well, you know, why am I even doing this? You know, no numbers, you know, this, that, and third. And I had to tell her, like, if you're basing, I guess, your worth or your enjoyment in your hobby because of how many people see it, that's gonna make you literally hate it. And so it's interesting because like maybe like a month ago I saw her say the same thing to a friend of hers.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, like you finally got it, and now you passing that down to somebody else who's having that trouble. Because I think anybody in the creative profession kind of has that problem. Like I know, you know, we have to deal with YouTube being weird and all that.
Yeah.
And it's like, truthfully, if what I cared about was like views and like if everything had to break like 100K, 200K, whatever, I'd probably hate making YouTube videos.
Oh, exactly. Because I have to remember that I started doing YouTube as like a hobby of mine.
Right.
Like I literally was like 15 years old. Like I just genuinely like making things. I just genuinely like being creative, and that's why I like really started. Maybe reason I started cosplaying in the first place is because I remember that I never wanted to just do one costume for Halloween because of extra.
Right.
And then I found out cosplay, you can like cosplay year round, like Halloween every day.
Yeah, pretty much, just whenever you want.
Yeah, and I just found like, cause you know I love style and I love fashion and all of that. I just really like dressing up. I like dressing up. I think it's cute. I think it's just super duper fun. But also I just want to know what it's like to dress up like characters that I see on television or whatnot. And like these outfits aren't seen as like normal in real life, but they're seen normal here. And I'm like, I don't care. I just want to do that. And I have like made like a lot of my costumes. And you were literally sitting here like watching me like I
was watching you like Bob Ross that shit.
Yeah, I was like literally painting because she had on the character. I had to put my own spin on it. The character had like a white jumpsuit on.
Yeah.
And it had like a black stripe. And I couldn't find one, and I didn't like. I don't have no money to pay somebody to make this for me. That's gonna cost a lot because I agree about paying people like their worth. Yeah. So I was just like, just do it yourself. Just like I said, Bob Ross that shit.
That's what you did.
Go and do that. I told you, you know how I am. Like we're friends by the way. You guys know. But
yeah, we're more than like business partners. We're actually like actual friends.
Yeah. You know how I'm just like really nonchalant about things. That's why I feel like it was a little ignorant on my end, where I was like, are y'all like cosplaying because you want validation from other people? Right. And I just like stopped seeking validation from other people long ago, because I remember I know a lot of people be talking about they only want to cosplay things from like popular stuff because they know people are gonna recognize them and like ask for pictures and this and that third. And I was just like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, it's just I just don't think that's fun.
Yeah.
You know? I don't think that's like a fun thing. Like, say for instance, for Thursday, my Kasani Teto, not everybody knows Teto.
Yeah.
You know, Miku's the most famous one, and then it's like Lin Ren, then Kaido, and then like Meiko, and then there's other ones. But my point is the Vocaloids are the most famous. Not everybody knows who she is. But I was like, nah, fuck it. I put it on. I got a few people that were like, oh, I love your Teto. So maybe it's not like, 20 people or whatever, but I liked what I wore. Yeah. That was, the point.
Yeah, because like Ty Lee, I'd say is like a pretty popular costume. Right. But like Beach Ty Lee isn't as popular as like her main outfit. Right. I don't know what it is about me, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like when it comes to like keeping my individuality, I don't like to dress up like everyone else. Yeah. Because somebody started going off on me and was like, you obviously cosplay for attention because you're posting on the internet and whatever.
I hate that because then everybody gets into, it's like a whole like dumb semantics battle where it's like, well, I mean, you post on the internet, so you want attention as well. Yeah. It's like, well, I mean, there's a difference between like objectively like wanting like attention, like please give it to me for doing this one thing, opposed to being like, oh, I'm gonna just post this pic I took, I'm just to the social media, because I want to, like whatever.
That's exactly okay. So I'm glad that you have like a good understanding of like where I'm coming from. Yeah. Hi everyone, the captain here. I just wanted to get on here real quick and tell you guys thank you so much for your support. I have gotten so much fan art from you guys, and I've met plenty of y'all in person at the conventions that I have been at. And also thank you guys so much for coming to the panels that I host. It means so much to me. You guys are so great. I appreciate every little last bit of support you guys give me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can say thank you 100 times, but I truly do mean it. Thank you. Now here is where things start to get a bit sad in this video, because as we had this discussion about cosplay and how we started doing it, we also have to get into the subject of both classism and elitism, because they deeply do affect the nerd community. So you guys need to know the definitions on what classism and elitism are. Classism is basically class discrimination, also known as classism. By the way, y'all, I'm reading directly from the Wikipedia article, because not the Wikipedia article, but the definition, because it's just very much straightforward and to the point, and it gives you exactly what you need. So class discrimination, also known as classism, is prejudice or discrimination on the basis of social class. It includes individual attitudes, behavior, systems of policies, and practices that are set up to benefit the upper class at the expense of the lower class. Now here, this other definition says that it's prejudice against people that belong to a particular social class, and usually that social class is always the lower class, and I say even the middle class too. Now we have elitism, and elitism is a little bit more tricky than it comes to classism, but elitism is the belief or notion that individuals who form an elite, a select group of people perceived to be, you know, having a certain quality, high intellect, wealth, power, notability, special non-special skills or experience, and more likely to be constructive to social society as a whole. Sorry, you guys, it's 1 a.m. Sorry if I'm stuttering. And usually it says they are like likely to be the people that have influence over others. Now, how these both affect the nerd community, I can't stand to use this man as an example, but I feel like this is an example that is like a staple to the nerd community. But we need to talk about Doug Walker because I feel like elitism really plays into factor with him and his brand and whatnot with the Nostalgia Critic and Channel Awesome. Because I remember at one point, even me myself, a lot of us were talking about how we desperately wanted to work with these people, and mainly that's because they were kind of like seen it like the top tier when it came to like, you know, making videos about like cartoons and just media in general. But part of the reason why they were held up to that such high standard and why so many people saw them as elite is because they're basically like one of the first people to do it. Doug Walker was one of the first people to really like popularize making videos about like nostalgic kind of cartoons and shows in general. That's why he called himself the Nostalgia Critic. And I remember that people would be talking about how they wanted to work with them, but let me tell you something about the Nostalgia Critic show. That show, like, aside from like the actors that they hired to be a part of it, a lot of the people that like on the side that got to be in the videos, a lot of those people were creators that had big ass followings. So that's like a big understanding right there with the elitism thing, because I noticed that a lot of creators only really want to work with other creators that have the same amount of following as them, which yes, I understand why they do that to a certain extent, but also it's kind of like forms like a weird kind of clicky thing. But then with classism, we have to talk about like a lot of the people that are known for like nerdy content. When you look at like the kind of content they post, they're always showing off materialistic things. Like when you look at a lot of these nerdy creators that get so many of the followers, they are known for like their anime figurine shelf and how many dolls that they own and how much merchandise that they have. And they shop all the time from like Hot Topic or Box Lunch or these small anime and like nerdy inspired brands and whatnot. Classism is a big ass deal when it comes to the nerd community, and usually the people that get the most clicks, the most followers, and like the most like attention, I'd say, usually are the ones that have more money in their pockets. And also, a lot of people tend to kind of go broke, I'd say sometimes, because they're always trying to be in the know at these events. Like, people legit don't be paying rent so they can go to conventions, and people be fucking hungry and not eating because they want the money to go to this convention that everyone's gonna be at and whatnot. Or people literally blow their entire check on, like, you know, nerdy memorabilia, or they spend all the money in the damn artist alley. I get it. I've been there before with the artist alley. It's just, yeah, money is a big factor when it comes to this community, and it's time that we start talking about it more. I'm just kind of worried because it's like there's like been a lot of good that's come with like the cosplay community, especially like the rise of like the Black cosplay community. But also a lot of bad that has come along with that. So I'm gonna ask you two questions.
Oh boy.
Okay, so do you know what classism is?
In terms of like we talking like wealthy versus poor sort of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know a little bit about it, I guess.
Do you think you could explain it a little bit for me?
Let's see, classism. Cause I ain't trying to get like grilled in the comments or like
no, it's okay,
you fucking idiot. I guess it's like more or less like the discrimination against like lower income individuals, like systematically.
Okay, you got a good understanding.
Yeah.
Okay, now do you know what elitism is?
Yeah, I know what elitism is. It's like as in like the idea of wanting to be exclusive, like the idea of like, oh, well, you know, I'm doing this and you can't be in here because you're not doing this, you know, as in like kind of like gatekeeping, like an idea or like a community or like a thing, you know, all in the favor of like there being some like, I guess like top 1%, you know, like, the cool kids.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, so you do know what classism is, and you do know what gatekeeping is. I am gonna go a little bit more into detail when it comes to like classism, because it is like discrimination between like social class and whatnot, but also like clothing plays into it, because I remember people will be like, you shop at Forever 21, but I buy all my clothes from like designer brands and whatever.
Right.
Like it's just like stupid shit like
Look,
that.
I mean, there's a lot of people that wear designer this, designer that, and can't throw a fit. You know.
Yeah.
There's some people I can make a fit that costs like $50 altogether, and it could be better than somebody with like a fit that costs like 4 bands.
When it comes to the cosplay community, do you think those two things like play a factor into this?
I think those two things heavily play a factor in it. I think especially elitism, but I feel like classism isn't addressed because they'll have certain spaces where it's like, oh, you can only like cosplay in this certain way, using this certain stuff, to be kind of like recognized as like on the same field.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, but not every like 14-year-old or just average human, wants to spend hundreds of bucks on like a cosplay. You can get the same job done for like a fraction of the price.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people who, maybe they got like their daddy's vacation money or something, and they want to buy their like 100 like Evangelion cosplays for Twitter to get their Twitter likes, but not everybody can do that, and that's where I think the classist part comes in, and I think it's like it's where the elitism comes in as well, because it's like, okay, well, if you're not conforming in this way, or if you're not doing it the way that we're doing it, we're not going to recognize you, as like, like just period. And I hated that there's just elitism in like nerd spaces in general, because it's like we're already nerds. We should be sticking together.
Thank you.
We're all like nerds. Trying to indulge in like our fun little fixation. It's like maybe, you didn't have the best of time being excluded from groups like in school or something, but you should not carry that over to the niche of people that are on the same side as you.
Yeah. Because I told you, like, this is a little off topic, but I remember, I told you about like that one man that I was talking to at the con, and mind you, like, this is like I said, cons are supposed to be like a safe space, because one thing, I'll get back to this, but I found out at another con that a lot of people were making, like, other cosplayers were making fun of other cosplayers' costumes, and I was just like, okay, so we acting like that now.
Right.
And then I told you, like, nerd spaces be so weird with like that classism and elite shit. It's like if people don't know who you are, they treat you so different.
No, literally.
Or if they find out if you're like of some importance, then they treat you differently.
And then I feel like it sucks because you could probably see this on both sides of the spectrum, like I can. Where you can understand like the different treatment from like before you had an audience to how you do now.
Yeah.
And then you can also see the juxtaposition of how people try and treat your friends who don't have the audience you do opposed to you.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, like, well, if you're gonna treat me like a human being, you also have to treat them like a human being.
Yeah.
Like regardless of the sub count.
Because I noticed the way like people like treat me different, because I don't walk around like expecting people to know who I am. Maybe that's just because I'm a humble little bumblebee.
I mean, I think that's just the right way to go about it. Like, I feel like even if you like Jesus Christ, whatever, like I just wouldn't walk around being everybody's face like, me, right?
Yeah.
You know me.
Like, no. That's why when I asked the whole panels and stuff, the panel's never about me. I'm like, I wanted to be about other things. Like, what I'm like getting on here just talking about myself. Like, I talk about myself on my channel because this is like my platform. Right. But like out in public and whatever, I'm like, no, I just want to have like a general conversation about a topic. And that guy, like when I was giving out my business cards, he said something like along the lines of, and I try not to think that he meant it in a rude way. Right. But he was like, I see you like starting up your YouTube channel and all that. And I was like, I don't like to brag about my follower count. Right. But I was like, sir, I have over 100K. And he was like, oh, okay, so I see you already did it. And you just see like this, I just saw like the shift in his tone and like the change in like his facial expression.
Because it sounds like at first it was like a little patronizing. Yeah. Like, oh, that's cute. Sort of
your little YouTube channel, that's what they be. Your little business.
But then it's like, okay, now like you established. So it's like, oh, I see you. It's a whole different demeanor. And I mean, that's why, at least I never even really talk about my channel stuff, like say at school or whatever. Just because it's like, I want to see if you can like talk to me like a human being without knowing about any of that sort of stuff.
Because I noticed, like, within this community, like, talking about how there's, like, an elitism thing, I noticed that I have seen some really great cosplays from, like, a lot of people that I, like, see on Instagram for the most part, because that's just mainly, like, a social platform that I'm on. But they don't really have, like, the following behind it.
Right.
And I'm just like, are you guys just not following them because they don't have followers? That's something that I've noticed.
That's the thing.
Like,
that's the thing. And that's why I 100% like make sure that people know that I don't care, and that's why I be scared because sometimes I follow like an artist that I see follows me and they have like 200 followers and I be scared to follow them because I want like freak them out or something.
Yeah.
But the point is I don't discriminate. You know, like if your shit fire, I'm gonna follow you. Cause I forgot who told me this shit. It was one of my friends who were artists or something. Like she showed me like some screenshot from the server where they were like specifically talking about like, oh, if you like got 40K followers and up or some shit, like, you know, you get this privilege or some shit like that. So it's like they're literally treating people like in these classes.
Yeah, that's just something that I've noticed, like, specifically, like, with, like, the online, like, cosplay community and just art community in general. Like, just the entire nerd space where people will be like, oh, if you don't have this follower account, then I'm not gonna support you or whatnot. And I was like, how do you think people get these follower accounts anyway? Like, logic leaves the room. So I'm glad to know that you do have, like, a good understanding of how, like, classism and, like, elitism, like, play into this. But it's also something that's just kind of like worrying me because, like I said, like you genuinely do like the cosplay.
I do.
I genuinely do like the cosplay, but it's like I feel like so many people are just doing it because they like know it's gonna get them followers. They know it's gonna get them attention. Because I don't know if you are aware. You probably are, but like I've never seen this much cosplay content ever when I was younger.
Yeah,
I never did.
It's like in overabundance now.
Yeah, because
it's like I just casually see it just throughout the day.
Yeah,
you know, like every day.
You know, like conventions, right? Of course, we just went to a convention.
Yeah, conventions never heard of her.
Yeah, so we just went to like MomoCon, and are you like aware that a lot of people just like don't be like taking care of themselves properly in order to like go all to these conventions? Because you know we have MomoCon, the one we're just at. That's like another big one. Then we have like Anime Expo out in Los Angeles, and everybody knows like the big one. Funny how this is like the biggest con in the United States, but like a lot of like cosplayers like us don't even care to go to it. And that's like San Diego Comic Con.
Yeah.
People do not, like, our community does not care about going there. I find it so funny.
I would have cared to go there maybe like in 2013, but I don't give a shit.
I don't give a fuck.
I don't
give a fuck. Like, people care more about going to New York Comic Con than like San Diego Comic Con. But you know, we have like anime like NYC and DreamCon and like, it's another one down like in Florida.
Yeah.
But like mainly like BlurCon even. Like mainly a lot of the cons I noticed that like popular like with like the black community.
Right.
I'd say are like the ones that a lot of people really are like, oh, I don't want to miss out on this and that and the third. And I noticed that there is just kind of like a little sense of like jealousy. I don't want to say it's jealousy, but it's more of like FOMO, where people will be like, I'm sad that I can't go to this con because I don't have the money to, or I'm not in the financial situation in order to do that. And I'm like, well, I'm glad that you are able to recognize that you don't have the money to go, because there's a lot of people who can't afford to go.
Bro, how the fuck you got your next 5 cons planned out and like you be tweeting about like going hungry and shit? Like what's going on? Like are the bills paid? How are these paid for? Yeah,
because I feel like that's like another like classist and like elitist thing, because a lot of these people that belong to like this elite group, because there's like a cosplayer that I do follow where she was talking about how the black cosplay community has like a bit of an elitism problem, and I noticed that, and I try not to like think about it like too hard, because I just be doing me. I just be in my own little bubble where they like are literally struggling to like find money in order to go to all these places. Because I know another one is like DreamCon, and a lot of people talking about how they like, oh, I'm gonna be so broke after DreamCon, buying my ticket and all that. And I'm just like, we just had MomoCon.
Yeah, no, niggas that's asking me about DreamCon, money don't grow on trees.
It don't.
All right?
It is not. Like,
look, maybe if YouTube puts me recommended more, maybe we'll be going to more cons. But for now, we got MomoCon.
Yeah.
That's a con for now.
And the main reason why a lot of them are like the big ones is because they're like some of like the first ones.
Yeah, there are a lot of people who need to find themselves and I guess find their own group sort of deal. You know? I mean, it's like you said, I just be doing me. I just be chilling, really. And I mean, I just kind of happen to know a good amount of people in that community. And that's just like, you know, it's like, oh, if I'm invited to something, like I'll pull up or whatever. But like, I'm gonna, you know, be doing me.
Yeah. Because I noticed that's just something I've like noticed with like a lot of like cosplay and stuff like that, and things that like friends have told me that I'm not saying, because just like I said, a lot of this is just like things that like what y'all see on the internet that people put out is only like a fraction of like what has actually happened in real life at these cons and at these conventions, because some of these people just be acting completely out of their ass. But I feel like a lot of cosplayers they kind of lack like authenticity. In this section here, we are just talking about individuality and the lack thereof. I know Jackie Aina made a really good video about this, and Cameron Elise made a really good video about this too, talking about like individuality is dead. And I feel like that really does contribute a lot to when it comes to like the nerd community, I say, because in this section here, I do talk about how I see a lot of the same costumes all the time. I see a lot of the same cosplays and whatnot, and I noticed that so much of it is just like people kind of like copying each other and like sticking to like the status quo and doing what they know is popular and doing what is cool and what is trendy. Because I remember somebody had pointed out before that, you know how people be making those short form videos talking about day in my life and whatnot, and somebody was like, is it me or do all these bitches' house look the same? And I was like, it do. All of their houses be look the same, that same like white furniture, white wall. They be having their hair all down in that same slick back style with the new lip gloss. They go to do Pilates and drink green juice. I told you guys it's late, but I'm just like, this is like somewhat of what the conversation that we're having here too. But also I talk about how I feel like, I don't like to say that we have like an oversaturation of creators, because I feel like anybody can be a creator or whatnot, but I feel like it's an oversaturation of a whole bunch of people trying to do the same thing, to be a little bit more specific. But like when I say like a lot of cosplayers like lack authenticity, it's just kind of like I feel as if they don't really like, they're just trying to like follow like, I hate that shit where they just be like stick to the status quo. No nigga, shut up and play basketball.
That is so fucking funny. They tell that black man to dribble.
Go dribble. That's what you
They said, none of that bacon, nigga.
I feel like a lot of people do that to themselves. Because they're like, oh, well, because I know there's a really popular costume that I've been seeing, because I saw it so much this damn weekend, was that Bowsette costume.
Oh, yeah.
And it's because so many people literally, like, Bowsette is like a super duper popular costume.
People love their Bowsettes.
Yeah, and so many people do it because they know it's gonna get like attention on the internet. You have to seek validation on the internet. Yeah, and I it's just something I know at a con, because a lot of people recognize the Bowsette costume and they're like, oh, I'm like, sis, are you, not sis, because gender neutral over here, are you wearing that costume genuinely because you like it? Are you just wearing it because you know it's gonna get you attention, and you know it's gonna get you attention from like certain people?
Right.
But I feel like I said, a lot of cosplayers just lack like authenticity, and I'm not trying to sound like an elitist asshole when I say that, but it's just like, I feel like y'all are just doing like the same simple basic stuff that everyone does because you know it's what's gonna get you like looked at by like certain people online or whatnot. Because I noticed like with like the rise of like TikTok and whatnot, it seems as if like people like are like more desperate now to like go viral on the internet, because I hate to say this, but like I feel like TikTok has made it like too easy to become an influencer, low key.
Well, it's like, because you'll see niggas with like 1 million followers and you'll be like, who the fuck is this person?
Yeah. Oh, like, there's so many of them now.
It's just like, I won't even know. Like I'll see some beef or some shit on Twitter about like 2 niggas where I'm like, I don't, like, I know that it says TikTok stars, but I don't know what the fuck y'all are.
Yeah, because
I'm famous.
Because I was like that with Dream.
Yeah.
I didn't know who that was until
Minecraft, man.
I didn't know who that was.
He just kind of popped up out of nowhere.
Okay, so this section right here, we are really talking about something that's been discussed a lot more in the years that has come, but there is some things that we need to talk about when it comes to the kind of like cosplayers that like really get a lot of attention and whatnot, and race and like, you know, its nasty cousins comes into play, that being, you know, fat phobia, colorism, featureism, all of those horrible things. I tell you, when it comes to anything in the world, racism will find its ways to like slip itself into it, or anything that has to do with beauty standards in general come into play. Because when you go and look at a lot of these tags of like cosplayers on Instagram and whatnot, usually at the top of the tags, the people are usually white or very light skinned and pale, very fair skinned, very thin. I'm like, usually you're gonna see somebody that's different and whatnot. They usually have to do the fucking most in order to like get that top post or whatnot. Because somebody has, I remember Joey had mentioned something before in his video talking about white people can do the most mid shit when it comes to cosplay and get super duper hyped up, but a person of color literally goes out of their way to, you know, show their skills with cosplay or just having fun or whatnot, and then they still get shat on simply for, you know, being a person of color or being of darker skin or being plus size or whatnot. It's awful. Is there like any other ways that you've noticed it, or?
I noticed it in terms of racial, 100%. Because I'll see, I remember I had a mutual, it was a mutual I met this weekend actually, but they had explained to me, I saw one of their older TikToks where it was this like white girl doing this cosplay. I forgot what the character was. It might have been like Shigo or like Raven or something. Some like typical like popular, you know, cosplay. And people were like duetting it, like getting mad. And like they kind of explain where it's like, you know, it isn't inherently the girl's fault that she's getting hyped up because like it's, you know, she's white. Yeah. But that's just like the truth. Yeah. You know, it's like, you know, everybody talks about how like the black excellence thing is a myth when like it's not. You know, we kind of have to like do the most to like get the least.
No, dead ass.
That's kind of like how it is. Like you have to be like an exceptional cosplayer that's like conventionally attractive, and that has like all the features that people are finally looking at. Cause like colorism, fat phobia, all that shit comes all that is bad. Especially like when it's like plus size or like fat people, where they kind of try to put them in a box and tell them what they can and can't cosplay.
I noticed that plays a bit into like elitism just as well. But people don't be wanting like to support plus size cosplayers,
which I think is nuts.
And like, I'm not even trying to say something, but like so many plus size cosplayers put so much work into their cosplays because the shit don't come in their size.
I don't know if you saw. It was like a couple months ago. This woman, she was plus size. She had like it was like a Garfield like Sailor Moon cosplay. Yeah, and she had like a giant like lasagna prop, and she's like, "Oh, in the name of lasagna." Like, it's like that shit is crazy. Yeah, like that's all custom made. Yeah, and that shit is awesome. Yeah, you know, and it's like, I don't think that the cosplay community should be like elitist in terms of like, well, elitist in any way, shape, or form. But it's like especially like body type. You know? Because it's like you're just missing out on a bunch of different cool cosplays. Yeah.
Also, this is something that needs to be addressed, because if it's like small business, we're not talking about small businesses specifically, because small businesses are the ones that a lot of plus size cosplayers reach out to like custom make their cosplays for them. We love that. Support small businesses. But no, I'm pointing the finger at y'all, these cosplay companies that have been around for a while and make a whole bunch of fucking money. I'm talking about the people that be selling them Evangelion skin tight suits and all of that shit. Like, I noticed that when I go and I look at these little bodysuits and whatnot, they do not go past a size like an American extra large. And I'm just like, cosplay is for everyone. Y'all are people that make a whole bunch of money from your brand. Y'all have the money and y'all have the funds to add bigger sizes for your cosplays, because I was listening to Mobcast Mafia, and it was the cosplayer, I hope I get her name correctly, but her name was like Endeavor's Baby, and she was talking about how like she makes a lot of her costumes because a lot of the shit don't be coming in her size, so she has to custom make her stuff. And I give plus size cosplayers so much credit. I give them so much credit. I am so sorry that the people that are like, you know, the ones that make so much money from selling custom made cosplays and all that, like, you know, the basic stuff or whatever, that they can't even like put in the effort to like get bigger sizing, because I was just like, y'all have too much fucking money right here to do that. And I was like, if these smaller businesses can literally do custom orders for their plus size customers, y'all can do the same. If anything, y'all have more of the, you know, access and funds to do so. Ooh, y'all get on my nerves, okay? At the end of the day, this is part of the reason why so many people go to smaller businesses and whatnot, and why a lot of people take commissions and whatnot, because when it comes to just clothing and fashion in general, there's so many problems. Like I said, we're here talking about the subject of like fat phobia, but then there's also so many issues with colorism just as well. Because I remember there was like a lot of people talking about how they were like really getting angry with this skincare brand because it didn't come like in their color, like makeup shade didn't come in their color anymore. And people were mad because they were like, this is the only makeup shade that comes in this color. I can't find anything else for it. It's just something that I think about when it comes to just like beauty standards and how they just low-key ruin so much shit. And I didn't even realize how common this was when it just comes to the subject of just Eurocentric beauty standards and whatnot. I can't stand it. Like, I'm just tired. Okay.
And on the topic of fat phobia, I noticed like ordering from some cosplay places, they only go up to like certain sizes. You know, and it's like me as like a, you know, smaller, you know, kind of lanky person. I recognize that I do have like the privilege of, you know, ordering whatever size I want.
Yeah.
But I have like plus size friends who can't do that, even if they wanted the cosplay to carry it, because it doesn't come in their size.
Because I had to think about it, like, because you know my dress that I wore for like my Eevee costume, it was actually too big.
Mm.
I was kind of mad because I had ordered a small and I actually should have ordered an extra small.
Right.
And like Kayla like tied it as tight as she could get it on me, but I was just like upset because I was like, the dress is too big, yada yada yada. But then also remember, I'm like, there's some people that won't even be able to get a dress in your size.
Right.
Like, you need to be thankful, you need to be grateful.
Yeah, hands down.
Because I noticed like fat phobia is a big issue when it comes to cosplay. Because you know how like a lot of people like I make and buy a lot of my costumes. Mm-hmm. But if you want like a custom made cosplay because it just doesn't come in your size being bigger, you have to pay so much more money for it, like opposed to like buying it when it's like, you know, smaller. We're like business owners, so like we are like taking these things into consideration and seeing how frustrated we are with like them like struggling to add like bigger sizes for like to be like more inclusive. I can't even imagine how these people actually feel, because a lot of like plus size cosplayers, they had to make like a lot of their stuff, and then they still get discriminated against because you see all this talent, all of this shit went into making their costume, and then people are still fucking roasting them because they're
like,
fat.
if you don't got a 2-inch waist, they're ready to kill your ass.
Yeah,
pretty much. Because
when I look at like a lot of like these cosplay groups and whatever, and this isn't just like the black cosplay community, just like the cosplay community overall, I don't necessarily see a lot of like bigger people in there.
You mean as fuck too? Those actually are like, they're actually terrible fucking people.
Oh my fucking
and they were saying like all racist shit. They were saying like fat phobia shit to the max, just hella fat phobia shit, and it's such a crazy like projection. And like a hypocritical like insecurity thing, because they'll say, oh, this bitch is fat, yada yada yada, while like also editing like their own pics. So it's like y'all just like hate everybody and yourself. Yeah. But it's like a lot of them be like elitist and like mean as fuck, and they'll hide behind this like little nice girl like little persona sort of thing. Because it's like, I mean, one thing about me and about you is like, we're gonna keep it street, you know. Like, you're not gonna be smiling at somebody's face if you don't want to smile on their face.
Like, I don't like that shit. No. I really don't. That's like part of the reason why, like, I kind of like stay to myself a lot.
I feel like when you can usually tell when, like, when you see somebody's giving off that vibe, it's like, all right, you know, you probably aren't the best person actually if this is like all you're doing. Like if you're been super nice to everybody, you know, and like you never have a problem with anything, you know, you never express any sort of opinion, you know, because it's like there's a difference between like being nice and like being like not like a human, like not a human being.
Cause like, oh my gosh, cause I ain't gonna say, but you know, like it was like a white cosplayer that I like, hey, I want to follow you because I really like her costume because she like did the same like costume as me, and like. Seeing like elitism, there's so many factors and layers that play into like elitism because it always be coming down to like how somebody looks. Yeah. Because like people think of like elite just like belonging to a specific group, and like classism does play along with that just as well. But I'm just like. I'm not trying to like brag or nothing like that, but you know about that.
Of course, yeah.
But like, I had way more followers than this person. Like, I asked to follow her. Like, I followed her first. Right. Mainly because I really liked her costume. But like, I'm black. Like, I'm literally just black. And I like saw like a lot of people that she mainly like post pictures with and took pictures with were like also like white people and whatever. And like, she had like followed me back, but then I had noticed that like, she wasn't really like interacting with me. She wasn't liking my stuff, and like
that was your first mistake. You were born black.
Yeah,
that was your first mistake.
Yeah, because I even notice shit like that when I see a lot of like these cosplay groups at like cons and whatnot. It just be white people in them. Yeah, this is a black ass city.
This is Atlanta.
This is a black ass city. Because I remember with the Stranger Things, I saw like this big Stranger Things cosplay group out in Dragon Con. I don't go to Dragon Con because it's just too big for me. I can't handle it. There was not one lick of melanin in that picture.
Crazy. Yeah, it says a lot.
It does. Because it's like, nuts. It just kind of makes me sad because I think about like with the black cosplay, like we're supposed to be down for each other. We're supposed to have each other's backs over here because these white people here don't like us. But then sometimes we're like very discriminatory like towards each other.
I think that's like our community's worst problem just generally is like the infighting. Because we'll get so fixated, and and when I say we, I don't mean us. I mean like as like a group, a whole, yeah, as a whole. Because I ain't on that bullshit. Yeah, but they'll be so fixated on trying to adhere to standards, you know, like awesome like colorist shit, you know, texturist shit. You know, not realizing that they're trying to appeal to the white man. Without the white man telling them that they want you to appeal to them. Yeah. Because it's like, oh, why do you want your hair to be looser? Why do you want your skin to be lighter? You know, it's like, why do you want these Eurocentric features and not these Afrocentric features? Shit like that. Where it's just like, you know, instead of fighting the outside problem, there's a lot of in problems. And you have like, you know, women or like, you know, dark-skinned individuals or, you know, people with more, you know, tighter curl textures, you know, having to deal with, you know, infighting in the community. And then that seeps into our hobbies and that seeps into cosplay and stuff like that, where it's like, okay, you know, we could be uplifting each other and addressing the real problem that there's a lack of recognition for any of us, period. But instead, you know, people choose to make the problem even worse and more complicated. And that's why people don't take the problem seriously because they're like, well, they're fighting about dumb shit. And it's like, well, we don't need to be fighting about dumb shit.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is because like thinking like going back to like, you know, like the black community, like I noticed like money plays like a really, really big factor when it comes to just the newer community, like overall, when it comes to like being able to buy from like certain shops and whatever, where you look at their prices and it's like, don't tell a small business to like lower their prices. But then you see a lot of people like buy everything from here and there, whatever. And then when these people are like buying these products and all that, they're the ones that like start to get like a whole bunch of the followers and whatever. But I noticed like when it comes to this, it seemed like a bit different, like a little bit of like a double standard because you know, hey, I'm working on a video about like just like having like a shopping addiction and whatnot, and I feel like people don't seem to understand that like shopping addictions come like in different forms, and I feel like the nerd community has that problem too, just because I feel like a lot of people are kind of like addicted of like to going to like conventions.
I think a lot of people are addicted to it because it's in a way therapeutic. Yeah, you know, it's like a coping mechanism, so to speak. Because I know there are some people where it's like, okay, you know, they buy their like little nerd figure or whatever because, you know, buying something may makes them feel like, oh, I have like control over this aspect of my life, or oh, you know, this interest usually, you know, takes my mind off of stuff like that. And that seeps into conventions too. Like some niggas, you know, they just can't be home. They have to always be traveling at some convention.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's like, you could do that, but like, you got the funds for that?
And you're literally putting yourself in debt because like you don't want to like sit down and deal with your problems.
And that's a problem.
And mind you, like this video like isn't meant to like, you know, shit on people with shopping addiction.
No, of course not.
I
like,
understand it.
It's a real thing. It's just that a lot of people, I think you said this to me before, but a lot of people who have shopping addictions don't know that they have shopping addictions.
Yeah, because I remember like a lot of men, like just like in the nerd community, like overall, a lot of them have shopping addictions and don't like realize it. But you notice that like women are usually, or like just feminine presenting people are the ones that usually get that label of like a shopaholic.
Yeah, no, I guess it's because they see shopping as like a feminine trait, even though everybody buys things.
Which is interesting to me because I have seen so many niggas spend bands, so much money in the artist alley on them anime figurines. Like, and there's like people online that literally like, men specifically, because I'll be looking at the back of like, I'll be looking at y'all on things and like y'all shelves in the back, like, oh, look at the new figure I got. And then you look at the figure and it costs like almost $1,000.
Yep.
A lot of men have like shopping addictions. Like a lot of nerdy men have shopping addictions, but it's seen as like cool and trendy with them because they're like, oh, they're just collecting things. And I'm just like,
that's a double standard.
Yeah.
It's just like anything to make women look crazy.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
Because that's like some more of like that elitist bullshit right there. Because I was like, y'all literally drag women for doing the like exact same thing that men are doing. Because you're praising this man for having like a whole wall of like collectible anime figurines, but like there's a woman over here that has like a whole shelf of like just like her cosplay stuff or whatever, or just dolls or whatnot. And you're just like, oh, you're doing too much. You're not spending your money wisely, and this and that and the third.
Apparently, women can't have hobbies.
Exactly. This is like weird. Like the cosplay community is just like, it's a hobby. It's fun, and I feel like so many people just kind of get like so worked up in like this world, this like nerdy world that's just supposed to be fun. But I feel like money just ruins everything at the end of the day.
Yeah, at the end of the day, money does ruin everything.
Yeah, because money is the reason why I can't see you as much as I want in person.
I know, it's crazy.
It's interesting because money is how we are able to see each other. Because the internet is not cheap. You have to pay for that shit.
You gotta pay.
Yeah, and then I know it's like a quote, Fab Socialism on YouTube. I'm not sure if you know who that is. You probably do.
I'm aware.
Yeah, at the beginning of a lot of her videos, she has a quote that's like, it's not hypocritical to critique capitalism because we are forced to participate in it to survive.
Yeah, but it's like on that bullshit where like niggas be like, oh, I'm tired of America, and they're like, then leave. And it's like, it's like, damn, maybe I'd do that if everything else also didn't fucking suck.
Yeah.
It's like me saying that isn't I want like to leave. It's I want to fix this.
Like if people don't seem to understand that like African American people are hated universal. Like and even in Africa they don't like us over there.
Yeah, it don't matter. It don't matter where we go.
It's just like, because I know like people could even say that I'm being like a bit hypocritical for making this video, like but both videos about like shopping and whatnot, because you know like I sell products to people and whatever, but like
well it's just at that point it's like I feel like it's a semantics thing. It's like, oh well technically, you know, you have a store, so therefore, you know, you're contributing. It's like, well no. It's like, and you're not inherently enabling anybody's addiction. Yeah. You know, you're like, okay, you can buy this thing. On the site it isn't, oh, I don't care if you have fucking $20 in your account, get that shit to me. That's not not on the damn site. No. So if anybody tries to come to you like that, like it's bullshit.
Yeah, because it's like people could say I'm like hypocritical for making like these two videos right here, but also at the same time I'm forced to work just like you are.
It's like what you just had recited. You know, it's not hypocritical to critique capitalism because you know we're forced to participate in it.
Yeah, because it's like I am like blessed enough to actually like have like a following and like actually be able to like make. Because a lot of the things I sell in my store is stuff that I want all for myself. Like this little lip gloss I got right here because I wanted this for myself. I wanted a Frankie from Monster High inspired lip gloss, and I made one. And usually, I just always try to make sure I have that heart there. Right. Like with my products, I don't want to like simply make things because I know they're gonna like sell. Right. Because you know, like the Kotsky like cloud and whatever. You know, and I don't know nothing about Naruto what I look like, I noticed that Akatsuki clout stuff will sell.
Yeah, people love their Akatsuki stuff.
But like, is it genuine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, because the thing is, I always thought about, I was like, oh, I want to get like an anime or like a media inspired bonnet, and my first thought was that one of the Akatsuki bonnets.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I didn't get one of those, and instead I got me my ladybug bonnet from I don't know the full link. I know it's like shop
HarianaHook.com.
Yeah, from HarianaHook.com.
Yeah.
And then I just got blessed with the Cat Noir bonnet from HarianaHook.com. Make sure to tap in. It's a good quality bonnet. I literally I've worn the ladybug one every night since you gave it to me.
Have you worn the Cat Noir one yet?
I've worn it to sleep twice, yeah.
Okay. That's cute. It's just like, because like I said, we're forced to participate in it, and I was like, well, I want to do something that like is genuine, because I noticed with like a lot of like these anime brands and shops and stuff like that, and it's not necessarily a bad thing that they just necessarily want to cater towards like the popular anime, like especially like Sailor Moon is like a big one. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really a Sailor Moon fan. I know Sailor Moon stuff will sell, but I'm not like the biggest fan. That's the reason why you never really see me do like a Sailor Moon cosplay. Like I have a Sailor Moon shirt mainly because I watched like Sailor Moon when I was younger, and I watched it, like I revisited it in high school, and I was like annoyed that I didn't like it that much. Like, oh, I want to be like these shops right here, and like everybody know about me and this and that and the third, but like I hope you guys know that like a lot of these shops don't show like the other side of like business. Yeah,
no, they don't.
They don't, because one shop, are you familiar with Bad Waifu?
I am.
I love them.
Yeah.
I bought from them a few times before. I noticed the owner, she actually like shows like the other side of business, where she's just like, hey, this is actually what it's like to be an entrepreneur. So you guys will see like everything's not always peaches and rainbows. There's gonna be a lot of times where you literally spend more than you make back in profit. And then sometimes you'll have those moments where you make a lot more in profit than you did spending, but then you're gonna have like those slower periods in months like that, and then everything is just annoying, and then you'll have products that you think aren't gonna sell well and they don't, like they do. Hold on. You have products that you think are going to sell well and they don't. And shit like that. Like that's why I just like get kind of nervous when it comes to like my shop, because you know me, I'm very much like obscure. I hate the fact that I feel like so much of like my interests are like kind of obscure and whatever. Especially when it comes to like anime, because who out here about to be buying Midnight Secretary merch?
Maybe like 12 people collectively.
Yeah, but
but you like fuck it, you know, like you still gonna make what you want to make.
Yeah, because I'm like, I'm gonna have to market that.
That's what I like about your merch store the most. And I guess it's like this ties into what I said about how you do panels. It's like, you know, you include yourself, but it's a spin on something that you already care about. Yeah. You know, and that makes it more interesting for people to, you know, participate in / buy.
Yeah. Because it's like, you know, like I got lucky with Miraculous Ladybugs, because that's just something that is popular, unfortunately, that a lot of people like and a lot of people know, and that's like why a lot of my like miraculous stuff sells in my shop. And people are like, are you gonna have more other stuff in your store that isn't miraculous stuff? And it's like, yes, I get that, but like also I know it's going to sell.
It's also because niggas will ask about that. Like they'll be like, oh, are you gonna do this? You're gonna like, you know, make this. You're gonna do this, that, and the third, or whatever. Yeah. And it's like, all right, I appreciate you asking me that, but I'm gonna need more than like 5 niggas to watch / buy this.
Yeah. Because I noticed, I noticed like, you know, a lot of people just really like the Cheetah Girls. Yeah. I love the Cheetah Girls. I read the books, like own the books.
You a Cheetah Girls fanatic.
Yeah. I have the first album, played this shit so much it broke on my little Barbie boom box.
A real Cheetah Girl head.
Yes, I was like a Cheetah Girls stan. And like, I was like, that's something I'm actually really interested in. And a lot of people love the Cheetah Girls and they're really nostalgic for it. And I just got lucky with that right there. And it's just like other things where I'm just like, I desperately want to make this, but I'm like, it's not going to sell well. Right. Because I love Halloween from Monster High. Who out here about to be buying Halloween stuff besides me and like 30 other people? I will buy it. Right. I will buy Halloween stuff. But more people are gonna want stuff like her sister. More people are gonna like Claudine shit. Like, More people are definitely gonna want Cleo, but like I don't really care too much for Cleo's character. You don't know nothing about Monster High.
Listen, my partner is really into Monster High. So
for real?
Yeah. I don't know if you remember their birthday party in March was Monster High themed, and we had like the Monster High like decorations and stuff.
But, like One Piece is something that like a lot of y'all been like trying to get me in, and it's just like and everybody's like, you like pirates, you like One Piece, and I'm like, well, I really like One Piece. Well, really?
I think because it's like I understand the correlation because like Harry on a Hook, like no shit.
Yeah, Captain Hook, like.
I understand it's also One Piece takes a lot of commitment because I'm currently 30 episodes in, and I'll say it does have a good start to it. But you're sitting there like, damn, I gotta watch like 900 more of these.
I'm about to read it then. Like,
people say reading it is better.
And I've noticed that like One Piece like merchandise sells.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, do I like I said, I don't want to like force myself to like something I don't like.
You gotta give it something really popular, even if you hate it, and then make stuff and it's gonna sell. Boom, millionaire.
But like I hate that like that literally like plays like a big factor into like a lot of like people's businesses like being like known, like specifically like fan shops and whatever.
Now like that, you know that Evangelion jacket I brought with me?
Yeah.
The one with the work jacket with the patches. I literally saw the person that advertised it on TikTok. And then they said that, we'll let you know when like it's ready for order or for pre-order. And I had, with the minute that I saw that it was open, I pre-ordered that shit. The next morning that shit was sold the fuck out.
Because Evangelion's like popular.
Yeah, real popular.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't even know how much of Evangelion the niggas that made that shop, like, you know, how much they watched it. But I just know it's a pretty damn good jacket.
Yeah. Because, like, sometimes it's just, like, I see a lot of, like, these posts online. Like, I don't like to have, like, I'm, like, the kind of person that, like, doesn't want to think, like, bad about people or whatever. Mm-hmm. But sometimes I'm just, like, do you actually like this? Or is it just, like, you know that people enjoy it and it's going to, like, sell? Because I noticed another big thing that a lot of people have been into would have to be, like, Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
I've seen JJK, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't see the movie, though, yet.
Yeah, because I noticed Jujutsu Kaisen, like, merch sells really well.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
But then at the same time, I'm just like, I don't know. Sometimes I get like kind of conflicted as like a business owner where I'm just like, I want to be authentic and I want to, you know, sell stuff that I want and things that matter to me. But then also at the same time, I'm like, am I gonna like force? Yeah, but I was like, am I gonna like force myself to like something or watch something simply because like it's popular?
Right.
Because like, you know, when everybody was like doing like Dior costume. I like Spy Family. I own a few of the mangas. I'm not caught up to date on it. But then also at the same time, I genuinely do like Spy Family. I enjoy doing that. But like also it's just like, everyone has this.
That's me with Chainsaw Man. Because I thought about doing like Kobeni. But I was like, I'm probably going to see like 80 Kobenis. Like,
I saw so many damn Makimas.
Yeah.
I saw so many Power, so many Makimas.
It was the first fans that came up to me. It was a Denji and a Kobeni. That I think it's really normal for you to want to keep your individuality while doing a cosplay.
Yeah.
Because I think that those cosplays are a lot more memorable. Like, say for instance, you know, the day when Kat had their Miracle, we saw like 5 other Miracles, but then we saw like a younger somebody cosplay the younger version of Miracle, like from like with the school outfit and all that.
Yeah.
And it's like that's the only one I've seen that did that.
Yeah.
You know, so
like I was the only word girl out there.
You was the only word girl.
I was the only Maddie. It's weird because I noticed like when I see Maddie Perez cosplays, it's not usually like the only other Maddie Perez cosplay I know, like from people that are like us. You know my friend Chasa, Chasa. I have her bracelet on right now, but the one that be doing my makeup and all that.
Yeah. She's
like the only person that's like us that I've seen do a Maddie costume. A lot of like all the other Maddie cosplays I've seen have been like Instagram baddies and shit like that.
Right.
So like,
I guess for them it's like it's not really like a cosplay.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, oh, I'm just putting on a dress.
Yeah. They be like, I'm cosplaying as Maddie Perez, and I'm like, okay, what the rest of your cosplays?
Yeah.
And it's like I'm not trying to like gatekeep cosplay or whatever, but it's just like part of the reason why I wanted to wear Maddie to like MomoCon initially last year is because I was like, I know I'm gonna be the only Maddie.
Oh yeah, because it's like, you know, cause I feel like there's a lot of cosplays where it's like you can realize like, okay, either you really like this character or you might just not act to be like a cosplayer. Yeah. Like, cause I think technically everybody's a cosplayer. You know, you put on a costume. But I'm saying as in like, okay, well you don't like regularly cosplay. Like you just bought the costume because you liked it. Yeah. You know. Or you so happen to have this designer dress in your closet and you're Maddie Perez from Euphoria.
Because me and Kayla did like the Maddie and Cassie thing, because I asked her to do that with me, and I was like, because I know we're going to be the only ones, but like this is a costume I've desperately been wanting to do for like ever.
Y'all ate that.
Yeah, and I legit just didn't care that like people weren't like stopping us and like trying to come up to us or whatnot, because were people recognize that purple outfit I wore last year versus the purple outfit I wore this year?
Right.
Mainly because like I feel like everyone wore their damn outfit at some point. Like,
yeah.
So to close it all out, because this conversation went from something of us just talking about our appreciation to cosplay, and then not just even just cosplay, just this community, and then we went from talking about all the issues within it, I didn't want us to walk away from this and kind of have like no positive input on it in the end. So that is what we are doing here in this section. For the most part, if you want to cosplay, if you want to start that business, go ahead and do that. Like, I am not sitting here telling you not to do these things. All I'm just saying is that I feel like when people get wrapped up in this community, they kind of lose a sense of who they are because they get caught up with the numbers and the likes and the attentions at conventions and whatnot. And that's not what all of this is about. For the most part, it is about you and your happiness and your overall well-being. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I'd say first and foremost, if you want to participate in any sort of nerdy thing, definitely do it. I think you shouldn't let anything stop you from indulging in a special interest. I think that for advice, it's good to find friends with similar interests that are also similar in like character, because having a similar interest is not enough, because you know some people are really elitist, so you got to find those friends that are on the same type of time as you are, so to speak. I think as for cosplaying and just creative stuff in general, don't focus too much on numbers, because if you do that, when you get those numbers, you're not going to be having fun. It's going to feel empty. So first and foremost, do it because you want to do it. You know, do what you like and like what you do. And don't tell no one that you can't do it. That's what I say.
Literally, money ruins everything. I'm not even joking. Like,
it sucks.
Money, like, literally, like, discrimination just ruins so much of, like, this is a conversation we need to have. Because I see a lot of people talk about it, like, on Twitter within, like, because I'm talking about, like, the overall nerd community, but specifically, like, the black nerd community. Mm-hmm. This is something that we genuinely, like, should speak about. And I haven't really seen anyone, like, on YouTube talk about it much. And, you know, like, I don't really think a lot of those people really be on YouTube like that, like how we are.
Yeah.
And this like the black like nerd community in general. I'm like, y'all starting to treat each other how they treat us. Like, let's not do that.
None of that infighting. We gotta stay positive, y'all.
Yeah. Like that's why I don't like to have like bad intentions when I like think about people. I just always want to be kind and nice and genuine, because you never know like what somebody might be going through.
You never know.
I try to do better like when it comes to that, because I'm like, I don't want to. Because I notice a lot of people be like, oh, look at my bookshelf collection. Look at my manga collection. Look at my anime figurine collection. It's like, I just kind of want to move away from that.
Right.
Where I'm just like, oh yeah, I got all of these mangas. How many mangas do you have? And I have a lot, like on digital copy and whatever. But like, it's weird. Like, I feel like a lot of these things, we can't avoid this shit. No. We can't avoid classism. We can't avoid elitism. And we just definitely cannot avoid like, shopping. You literally can't avoid shopping. As much as people don't want to admit it, you have to buy food. You like have to like put gas in your car. You literally have to pay for shit to like survive. So like, why not buy something that's just like useless that you just enjoy?
I agree.
And thank you guys for watching. Like I said, this is the full thing's going on Patreon. So Patreon will see all of this. I'm glad you ain't saying nothing too crazy. You did. I was gonna have to make cuts, and that was gonna take more time for me.
I try to be on my best behavior.
Yeah, but thank you. Say about it. Say bye to the pirate ship.
Goodbye, pirate ship.
Thank you all so much for watching today's video. It took me a minute to get it out. Like I mentioned in the introduction, I have been going through it, but thank you Thank you again to Joey for joining me on this one, because it's one thing if this were me just talking about it by myself, but having a friend that genuinely understood so much of what I was speaking about to help me out with this video, I really am thankful that I had that. If you guys have any thoughts and opinions about the subjects that we were talking about in relation to the nerd community and classism and elitism and colorism and fatphobia and all that gross stuff that literally seeps into everything we do because it's so irritating, comment down below. I genuinely am curious to know you all's thoughts and opinions on this conversation that we had. Just a little shameless plug, I have added new things to my shop, harryonhook.com. I have other things that are coming soon, but I just want to make a brief disclaimer that a lot of like the newer stuff I'm going to be adding, I'm most likely not going to add that until like Black Friday, because I understand we are in a recession. Inflation is through the fucking roof. Gas costs too damn much. I want to save a lot of like the newer stuff I have from our products to come out during the holiday season, because that's usually when it comes to like recessions and stuff like that. That is where a lot of people have saved up their money for that. And yeah, it just makes more sense. I don't want people to feel like I'm like, oh, I just put out a new thing during this. No, I don't. Like I mentioned in the video, I was like, I don't want people to feel like they're obligated to buy something from my shop. My shop is just genuinely creating cute little things and whatever. Like I said, it's just like just a thought I had. That's a lot of new stuff is most likely not going to come to November. But yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say. I don't want to ramble on too long with this because this video is long enough, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a good day, night, or whatever time of the day you are watching this. I'm just thankful that you watched it. Alright, goodbye.
Now that you see, you should beware of the power of three. They come to fight as fast as they can. They're dangerous yet fabulous. Professor Utonium made them eschew. They are the colors of pink, green, and blue. They'll catch you in the blink of an eye and do it all before bedtime. They coming through and fighting, and everyone they're shocking. You know no one can stop them all because of the chemical X. They coming through and fighting, and everyone they're shocking. You know no one can stop them all because of the chemical X. The Powerpuff Girls will just blow your mind. Buttercup like villains 3 at a time. Bubbles will smile while kicking your butt, and Blossom will lead them out of their rut. Cherish and Powerpuff, 2 of a kind. Both wanna save the world before bedtime. From Townsville, Memphis, New York to LA, the Powerpuff Girls are just here to stay.